Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan Johnson from Intermittent Fasting with Ryan. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to some transformation photos, but there's a twist. I'm actually going to be reacting to my own transformation. Now, I'm bringing this up because I did this about 9 years ago. And as I was on my computer tonight going through some pictures and videos, I just came across some of these and I thought, man, I really wanted to share them with you all, as well as kind of do a little bit of a reaction video. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ryan Johnson, and over the last year, I've been on a mission to get back into shape. And most importantly, I've been using intermittent fasting as a way to not only to lose the weight, but to find a sustainable way to keep the weight off long term. Now, I've shared this before and I'll say it again. I am no stranger to weight loss transformation. I have gained and lost the same 40 to 60 pounds more times than I can count. I have always struggled with my weight. And one of the traps that I always fall into is I go full bore at some sort of fad or crash diet for a period of time. And I usually end up losing the weight. But because I'm so focused on losing the weight, it's never something that I can keep long term. And in today's video specifically, we're going to look at a time in my life when I went from 214 pounds to 180 pounds. I did that in 90 days. I lost 34 pounds. I went from above 20% body fat to about 10, sub 10% body fat, got a six pack. I followed P90X. But like every other time in my life, again, this was 9 years ago. You're going to see in the pictures and videos today, I looked incredible, but I only stayed that way for a few weeks before I put the weight back on. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and kind of jump right into the photos. So here is what I looked like. Let's see. This is what I looked like. Well, here's the whole transformation. So there was me at day 0, day 30, day 60, and day 90. And at the time, I actually ran a fitness blog, try to help people reach their goals as well. So I've always kind of gravitated towards sharing my journey. The only downside is this time when I lost the weight, I got there and then I put it all back on. But you can kind of see there I went from 214 pounds, which is really about where I'm at now. In 90 days, I lost 34 pounds and got a six pack. So you can see there kind of what that looked like. But again, man, at that time, let's see. So I had a six pack. I did P90X, but the thing about it, and I'll tell this to everybody, as good as I looked there, during those whole 90 days, the only two things that I was focused on was eating 1,800 calories and very low carbs and getting my workouts in at P90X. But I had set my goal on reaching and finishing P90X. But the thing that I wasn't focused on was building sustainable habits, which I spent that whole 90 days working out extremely. I did a lot of things physically, as well as really restricted my calorie intake, but I didn't focus on building sustainable habits. And that's been the big difference with this last year, is I have focused on a slower approach. So now I'm almost 14 months in, down 60 pounds. I still probably have another 20 to 30 I'd like to go, but I'm trying to get there over the course of 2 years so that when I look and get to my physically best, I can maintain it for the rest of my life. But we're going to watch a few videos and just kind of look at what it used to, what I was like at the time. So there I am at the end of P90X. I was actually, I was on YouTube almost a decade ago. I deleted the channel. And this was actually the only video that I had up, was my P90X transformation. But you can kind of see there, I had Carrie filming for my my before and afters. But I mean, again, the only thing I was focused on at this time was getting to this point. I had put zero thought into what I was going to do once I actually reached my goal, which is why I fell away, honestly. I didn't spend any time developing sustainable habits. So I have every intention to get back into great physical shape. But the thing that I'm doing now is I'm focusing on not only getting there, but how I can keep it up once I get there. So again, you can see in my back, and I did this whole thing with nothing but bands. I did the whole workout, just P90X body weight stuff in the bands, and a lot of diet. But the thing that I followed with the diet, unlike with intermittent fasting, I was very strict and going extremely low in my calories, which just was not sustainable for me. And really the thing that happened, here we can go through a few more videos. I was even able to do some handstand push-ups here. So doing some handstand push-ups, doing some, let's see, some presses there. I did a lot of pull-ups. The problem was I was so restrictive in my diet that when the 90 days was over, it was only like a week or two later, I actually did a half marathon with my sister. I didn't, trust me, I was not training for a half marathon. I did not run it at any kind of pace. I jogged it with my sister. After that, we went out and we had wings later that day. And I remember having those chicken wings just triggered me into a month-long binge session. Like I ate so much food, and I can remember the meal where it started. So having that mindset of all or nothing, while it did get me to great physical shape, I mean, I was able to have the six-pack, I looked good, but because I was not focused on maintaining the weight and building those sustainable habits, man, once I went on that binge, it just completely fell off. So that's one of the things I've been focused on now with intermittent fasting is trying to build the habits that I can do long term. So I was about 6 weeks into my intermittent fasting journey, and I had been eating fairly clean the first 6 weeks of intermittent fasting, but I was outside of a Whataburger, and I really wanted the Whataburger. And I was worried because I had gone through a transformation before. I knew that I had this propensity to go a little off track and then just go completely off the rails. So I was at the Whataburger, and I made the decision that I was going to have the Whataburger and I was going to enjoy it, but I was going to learn how to fit that in to a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. And that's where I made the decision that, you know, I'm going to eat some of the foods that I want to eat that normally people would call off limits, but I'm going to learn how to work them in. So I do things like longer fasts on days where I'm going to eat a little more unhealthy, as well as I follow a 70-30 rule. 70% of the time I'm eating good, healthy calories. 30% of the time I allow myself to eat the things that I want. And by not restricting it, by not saying things are off limits, I actually find that I don't desire them as much. You know, it's kind of that whole thing. If I tell you you can't have something, well, you're going to want it that much more. So really, I just wanted to kind of share this with you all. Wanted to kind of look back together and to give you a bit of encouragement and know that the way to get to our goal is not to get there fast, but it's to get there a little at a time. It really is progress over perfection. And we need to learn how to live healthy for the rest of our lives. So if you see anybody promising you quick results, or if you ever try to do something for the sake of quick results, 9 times out of 10, if you get there quick, you're not going to stay there forever. So really just want to encourage you all. Thought it'd be fun to kind of look back at a previous transformation. But thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to leave some videos on the screen now if you want to see my recommendations on getting started with intermittent fasting. And remember, the goal is not to lose weight fast, it's to lose weight forever. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.